My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. But there's nothing there. It's all just lost to the sands of time. That's all human history is. And you can tame that unruly taint with Taint Guard, the only taint cleaning and sealing procedure that includes Scotch Guard. Keeps your taint fresh, clean, and waterproof all day long. Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey SMOKES. It's late. It is almost 20 minutes after 9 a.m., and I'm only just now starting to record. What happened this morning? Well, actually, I went downstairs and I spent some time talking with my housemate this morning. We had some THC concentrate dabs. We talked about various things. We watched the videos about this one fellow whom I cannot tell which part of the world that he is from, but it would seem just from like his accent and such that it's I don't know, but and that's not important. It's just that this individual keeps like massive amounts of tarantulas, both old world and new world. And the old world tarantulas are hairless and aggressive and angry, and new world spiders they have the hairs on them and are slower and docile. New world spiders are on the northern and southern American continents. Old world spiders are everywhere else in the world. But it was fascinating, it was interesting, terrifying, but thumbs up for that. It was cool. But yeah, I'm late getting things done, so it's going to be a slow day for me as well as the rest of the world. Yay! Didn't get a whole lot done yesterday. I spent time watching videos. I fell asleep for a short period of time. I spent time talking with my housemates at various points, and then just went on walkies and tried to be as creative as I could. And, well, it was a day. I certainly existed. I played video games, I watched videos, I went for walkies, and it was a good walkies, and didn't do a whole lot past that. But that's okay. All you have to do is exist. Yes, our brains are some of the most amazing, most intricate objects that this universe knows of. But you're under no obligation to do anything with that amazing machine between your ears. If you just want to zone out and watch videos and do nothing with your life, why not? Nothing lasts, nothing matters. This is all just a transition point from a beginning to an end. Everything is transitions. Your life is just a transition from beginning to end. And when you're gone, how many people can you remember from the past? Throughout the entirety of human history, there have been over 100 billion human individuals. How many human individuals do the history books even list? And of those people that are in the history books, how much do you know about them beyond just what we attribute to them as their claim to fame? Nothing really matters. One of the big things that I like to go to is, it's a paraphrasing because my memory, but it's that old poem about, the fellow who goes off into the desert and just finds the remains of a statue in the middle of a desert. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. But there's nothing there. It's all just lost to the sands of time. That's all human history is. We are on a transition from a beginning to an end. Thumbs up. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. After all, one of the ways I like to look upon life and death these days, changing the narrative for my own head, is when you are conceived, there is the seed of a death flower that is planted. And as you grow and mature, this death flower also grows and matures with you. And as you begin to wither from age, the flower gets stronger and gets ready to bloom. And upon your death, this flower bursts into glorious bloom, and you join the billions of flowers that have already bloomed in the vast garden of history. Yes, your individual bloom is lost in the explosion of colors. And that's the way life is. That's the way the universe is. We come from nothing, we exist while we can, and then we pass away. Do what you will with your time while you're here. Nothing is of any consequence, except, of course, how we treat other people. Things don't matter. How we treat each other does. The things that we build don't matter. Take a look at places like Ukraine right now. All that destruction and death and horror, the things being destroyed, those can be remade. What matters? What's happening to all of those lives. But on to things that are not as heavy as that. Because of all that, I do not have a whole lot on my list, but I'm going to talk about some of my stuff here. Like, one of them is, I've talked about it some before, and I'm going to talk about it again because I've referred to, my emotional reactions to things as I'm 14 and this is deep. Not everybody goes to Reddit, so if you don't go to Reddit and there's a particular subreddit, which if you don't go to Reddit, but I'm preaching to the choir, but there's an I'm 14 and this is deep subreddit where people that are young post these things that are, if you're 14 and you have no life experience, boy, they seem deep. But they're either totally banal because it happens to everybody, or it's a sort of just over-exaggerated emotional responses because no life experience. Unfortunately, I spent a huge amount of my early lifetime as a functional and then actual physical alcoholic. I started drinking before I was 10 years old because of various types of bad things that happened in my childhood, from reproductive assault as a child, and then physical assault as a child, so not good. To get away from that, I started drinking my parents' alcohol before I was 10 years old. Not a lot, not all the time, but by the time I was in school, I was a functional alcoholic. And then I became a physical alcoholic afterward. But when you are an alcoholic, when you're engaging, in any sort of addictive behavior like that, you stop a lot of your emotional and social growth processes. They become halted, frozen. So if you start drinking like when you're, say, or engaging in any addictive behavior when you're 15, by the time you're 30, you're going to be acting immaturely because you have not had the chance to grow and mature emotionally and socially. It's only after you stop engaging in your addictive behavior that you can begin to catch up. So a lot of my life, I was an active alcoholic until I was almost 40. So a lot of the time, yes, I even understand, I have exaggerated emotional responses to things. And because of grief and the depression and such, I've never understood how to take care of my emotions, so that when I do have them, largely they end in tears because I don't know how to process emotions. So I've got stunted, immature, like I'm young, emotional responses that are stronger and heavier, and not knowing how to process them properly, and only knowing how to respond in one general way. So yeah, whenever I get even slightly emotional, I get mega emotional. Just coming up with some of the stuff I've thought of with my own fictional things, it's like I get to near tears, and I break away from it just with saying, I'm 14 and this is deep. But I also understand it's because I am having the over-exaggerated emotional responses because of I'm catching up on my social and emotional maturation because of the depression, because of the alcoholism, because of what happened when I was a child. So even though my responses are, oh, I'm 14 and this is deep, at least I understand it. And even though they are over-exaggerated emotional responses, they are still appropriate emotional responses, just taken to the extreme. So when I feel sad, when I'm coming up with these scenarios and stories about grinding the rusty knives into the open wounds of my characters, yeah, I get overly responsive, and I'm like, oh, this is so terrible, it's so sad. But I also understand, again, yeah, I'm 14 and this is deep. So I try to pull back a bit from the over-exaggerated emotional responses, and sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. But hey, that's life too. So let me take a look and see if there's anything else on my list again. Oh yes, this is one bad thing that I really hate about the return of my unmedicated ADHD. Because I am so unfocused. Kitty just came into the window because she went out the window. It's getting to be summer again, so yay. But, oh, can I remember what I was saying? Because the kitty cat did that. Okay, yes. Feeling unfocused. Because I'm 1,000 ping pong balls in a wind tunnel again, I have found myself wanting to do and starting to fall into old habits again that I'm fighting hard against. Because one of the things that I would do would be to start to hyperfixate. Like, I'm going to start learning how to program Python. And then get into doing a day or two of it. And then stopping because it's a lot of work. And my ADHD got bored and is going to go hyperfixate on something else instead now. I have my past littered with stuff like that, where I started it and then stopped, and I feel that even now. I'm just going through these things and saying, gosh, I like the way this person does music. I should break out my music program. And it's like, no. You're just going to waste time on it, not do anything, and then give up. Oh, I should program an RPG. No, you're just going to waste time on it, and then you're not going to do anything with it. Oh, no. I have so many things that are popping up, just saying, hey, let's do this now, where it's just going to be a time and energy sink. I'm not going to get anything done with it. It is difficult and hard for me to just be able to do the things that I do now. If I add anything to it, that's going to be it's not going to be good, is the end result. It's just going to be more abandoned projects littering what future I have, which will hopefully be a fair amount. I mean, hopefully I don't have anything terrible happening. I mean, I've got skin cancer worries about like this mole here, and I got a mole on my back, and I've got kidney worries, and I have pains, and there are nodes in calcified nodes in my lungs. There are a lot of issues that at my age of 59 could take me out of the game quickly. But you know what? That's true of absolutely every single one of us. There are so many people I know, have known, that aren't with us anymore just because suddenly something happened. I was working at this one nursing home in Bellingham, Washington at one point. We had a situation where a family was torn apart of one of the co-workers because a young kid had been hit by a car. And that was bad. It tore apart their neighborhood, their family, and it affected everyone at work because the people that this happened to were well-liked. And then at the wake for this thing, and that sounds terrible, at the wake for the child who had perished, the person who worked there was going along, having things happen, and then, blood vessel burst, and they were gone before they even hit the ground. Just like that. Gone. Must have been just a moment's pain inside of their head, a bit of dizziness, passed out, and then gone. And that can happen to any one of us at any time. You don't have to be old or young or even middle-aged. There are young people that die of cardiac arrest. There are older people that die of young people things. You never know. You gotta be careful. I'm hoping to last until my 70s. That would be nice. I would appreciate that. I turned 60 this year. One of the reasons I've been playing around with this whole finally senior citizen thing on my intros, so yay on that. Still though, life is life, and trying to do what I can do on my brief moment while I exist on this planet, in this universe. So thumbs up for that. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank, however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. That's never many, but anything more than 0 is awesome. Thank you very, very much. Now, if I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I can't American Sign Language, with my depression, fibro, and oh so many more things, sometimes I'm amazed I remember anything at all. But let me call up my Chrome, and we have Frisian Freedom, thumbs up and thank you. Confused Owl 29, good to see you back in the comments. And I Am Surviving, good to see you are as well. Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up and thank you. It has been a wild ride on the maximum difficulty for Hrot, and it's not over yet. Lad in Ironclad, thumbs up and thank you. Kite Man Dan, greatly appreciated. There, it is hysterical to shoot someone and then watch them be swallowed by a shark. It is one of the best things in the world. And then we have Ben B, thumbs up and thank you. JAYY, greatly appreciated. My kitty is, I love my kitty cats. Cats are awesome. I am a cat person. Flora Mew, thumbs up and thank you. Oh boy, my kitty cat, I love her to pieces, but she drives me crazy sometimes. Then we have I'm Really Rotten, thumbs up and thank you. And that is it. 9 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours to get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, if only for a short time and if only in text, and that is appreciated. And hey, with my thumbs in the air, don't know what device you're watching this on, so don't know where the video description is, but inside of it there are links to all my various channels, as well as my Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon. And again, hopefully I thanked people in the beginning part. I think I skipped over this, so this will be the first time. I guess I want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons, my literally beautiful and literally awesome people who help me by being literally beautiful and literally awesome. I have no idea when I put my hands in the air, so I have no idea if I'm keeping them up too long or too short, so hopefully I didn't do too badly. Oy vey, it's just been that kind of day. And if you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence, and if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up. Oh, what else do I say? I know I haven't said all of it. Hopefully I've said at least part of it. Did I talk about the PayPal link? Did I talk about my Amazon wishlist link? Did I talk about my patrons? I don't know. It's been that kind of day. My brain is non-functional. I love having ADHD. Still though, I'm going to do what I can today. I don't know what that's going to be, but whatever it is, I hope it is good, and I hope your day is good no matter what you decide to do. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Whatever you do, don't beat yourself up if it doesn't meet your expectations. Remember, nothing matters in this world. We're all going to die, and eventually the whole planet will die, our sun will die, every star in our galaxy will fade, the universe is going to keep expanding into cold and dark forever. Nothing matters. So, with the cavite bug raging, and you know what the precautions are, please take them. Get vaxxed, get boosted, do what you have to do to not catch it, to not spread it. Nothing matters except each other. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, I think that's a very good thing.